The Oracle is the operating system of the modern Matrix. That might sound weird as hell, depending on how deep your knowledge of the Matrix lore goes, but that's what the lore actually suggests, that's the theory. As you can tell, there is a lot to discern about who or what exactly the Oracle is. I mean, is she a program, is she a human, is she a goodie or a baddie, or neither, or both? All we see in the movies and games is that she has the incredible power to accurately predict the future inside the Matrix, and gives our heroes some helpful information about where their paths go. Let's deep dive into this character and try to learn who is the Oracle. So first let's look at the timeline throughout the movies and a little bit before. Okay, so after the machine versus humans war, the first two Matrixes fail. So to solve this problem, the machines create a program that can learn more about the human psyche. This program is the Oracle. So here we go, we've got this brand new Matrix, kind of designed by the Oracle and the Architect, of course, that gives humans a bit more choice, because the Oracle has worked out that that was the problem with the first two Matrixes. They didn't give humans enough choice, and that's what led to thousands and thousands of human bodies just simply dying because they couldn't accept it. She advises Red Pills on what to do and how to kind of like stay away from machines and all this. She advises the One in each cycle of the Matrix and how to get back to the source and do the cycle again, but of course she doesn't tell the One that. Then we see the sixth version of the Matrix. So Zion has been destroyed 5 times already. This is the version that all the films are about. She creates the prophecy. She tells Morpheus that someone's going to come and arrive and help bring peace to the world and all this, and Morpheus believes it and he goes and finds Neo. She greets Neo, implies that he is not the One, and tells him that he will need to eventually decide to sacrifice his life for Morpheus. At this point, Neo is not clear what she is, whether that is a human, program, or anything else. Neo sadly accepts that he is not the One. He later offers to enter the Matrix to save Morpheus as the Oracle predicted, and, in dying, becomes the One. This is all part of the Oracle's plan. Zion learns of the machine's plan to destroy Zion, so Neo goes to the Oracle for help. He learns that she is still connected to the machine world and therefore asks if he can still trust her, so she explains that he simply needs to make up his own mind. Neo questions how he has free will if she already knows everything, so she explains that technically he has already made every choice in his entire life. His existence is simply to understand why he has made these choices at any one time. She tells Neo that he must eventually go to the mysterious Source to end the war, which is done by getting a program called the Keymaker to open a special door. She leaves and Smith, now in exile, has begun replicating himself onto blue pills and programs spreading throughout the Matrix like a virus. Meanwhile, a recycling program named Ramachandra and his wife, an interactive software programmer named Kamala, meet with a powerful program named the Merovingian. Their daughter, Sati, is a program in charge of the weather systems within the Matrix and is facing deletion. Ramachandra and Kamala strike a deal with the Merovingian to get Sati safely into the Matrix to avoid deletion, if they can give him the deletion codes to the Oracle's visual shell. Ramachandra secretly meets with the Oracle to get her approval, and she agrees to take care of Sati, with her outer shell now deleted and replaced with a new one. Neo meets with the Architect, who explains that he was the program who created the original Matrix, and the Oracle was the program that improved it by allowing humans to choose to wake up. Neo chooses to save Trinity and not Zion, and then destroys some Sentinels in the real world. The Oracle meets Neo in her flat, where she explains that he was able to do this because the power of the One extends beyond this world, implying that his human form also has a connection to the machine world. She tells him that the path of the One ends in the Machine City, emphasizing the phrase, "Everything that has a beginning has an end." Later, Smith clones enter her flat and assimilate her. The Oracle version of Smith laughs in celebration as now he has gained the Oracle's ability to predict the future, and he can see his victory. After striking a deal with the Machine City to defeat Smith, Neo and the Oracle Smith fight. With the upper hand, Oracle Smith claims that he has foreseen this exact scenario, but then involuntarily says the phrase, "Everything that has a beginning has an end, Neo." This reminds Neo of what the Oracle said about understanding his choices, which prompts him to sacrifice himself for the good of the human race, so submits to Smith. Oracle Smith assimilates him, which allows the Machine City to send a deletion code command through Neo Smith's body to kill Neo and the Smith virus. The Matrix is reloaded and all the Smiths are removed, with every blue pill waking up with some mild amnesia. The Oracle sits at a bench with Sati, looking to a sunrise that Sati created. The architect arrives and tells the Oracle that he's aware of the risky game that she played to attain this truce between humans and machines. They agree that every human who wants to be free will be allowed to be freed, with no agent interference. Where did she come from? A lot of the learnings about the origin of the Oracle can come from the architect's speech in Matrix Reloaded, which is actually my gripe with the whole Matrix Reloaded in general, by the way, because the Wachowskis basically forced the entire backstory into this one 5-minute conversation. So the Oracle's backstory is, once the machines defeated humans, they had to power their own machinery, because the sky had been blocked out with the nuclear weapons of Operation Darkstorm. So, the machines created the Matrix beaters, one being the Paradise Matrix, which forced humans to live in ultimate pleasure constantly, and the Nightmare Matrix, which forced humans to live in fear constantly. Now these both failed because humans need choice. Humans would gradually realise that the paradise they were living in wasn't real, and they would just die. As Smith says in Matrix 1, entire crops were lost. So the Oracle was created to study the human psyche to find out the reasons why. She discovered the need for human choice. Then, she helped create the next Matrix, the first one that actually worked, the proper Matrix. Therefore, the architect calls her its mother, and Smith later calls her his mum. So this means she's not just an average program living in the Matrix like everyone else. No, technically she's still connected to the machine city, still connected to the source, because she's the current operating system of the Matrix. When Neo sees Seraph, just before he meets the Oracle in Matrix Reloaded, Seraph has golden code. The Oracle also has golden code, because Neo says straight away that he can see that she is connected to the machine world, just like Seraph. Okay, here's the big question. Can the Oracle genuinely see the future? The Oracle's power is being able to understand human choice. So she's not actually seeing anything, she's just understanding human choice. So imagine if when you were a child you realised that you hated pineapple, right? And then at some point in the future you're looking at the pizza menu and you see one pizza with pineapple on it and one pizza with pepperoni on it. There is a 99.99999 chance that you pick the pepperoni pizza. That is the Oracle. That's all she is. She has every single human emotion and opinion and belief fed into her every single second, and that's why she's able to make these incredibly accurate predictions for the future. It's not magic at all, it's only statistics and science. That's one of the key truths of the entire Matrix story. It is completely based on science, not magic. It's all a sci-fi film, not fantasy. So no, the Oracle cannot control the future, control people, or even see the future. All she can do is make incredibly accurate predictions based on the mountains of data that she's receiving every second. And importantly, whose side is the Oracle on? Here's the main question that Neo himself has to deal with. He even asks her this direct to her face in The Matrix Reloaded. She implies that he and the other Red Pills simply need to make up their own mind, but there is another perspective worth discussing. The conversation between the Oracle and the Architect at the end of Matrix Revolutions hints that the Oracle had a certain strategy the whole time. He says that she has played a very dangerous game. This dangerous game that she played is her belief that Neo will be able to broker a truce between the machines and humans. Remember that Neo only decided to broker a truce right at the end. Before that, he was merely following the path he felt he had to. He was trying to destroy Smith, that's all. The truth is, the Oracle had planned for this truth all along, with her feeding Neo cookies to alter Smith's code and dropping hints to make Red Pills do her bidding. Her studying of the human psyche had developed a desire for peace, and she decided to put her plans in motion in the 6th version of the Matrix. That's why the films are about the 6th version. It's the version where the Oracle had enough and said, nope, I'm going to try and go for peace. Therefore, the Oracle isn't on the human side or the machine side, she is merely on the side of peace. Thank you for watching that, everybody. If it was a help to you and you really liked learning about the Matrix lore, then please subscribe to Jam Punch and I'll be releasing a brand new Matrix Explained video every single week. My name is George, this is Jam Punch, and I'll see you next time.